Первого спутника, третий тоже. Маршал Неделин предложил снять ракету с...
It's no secret why Russia's named its vaccine after the Sputnik satellite. If it's as good as they say it is, it will mean they've beaten the world, just as they did in the space race. But there are doubts about their supposed victory. Before vaccines are rolled out, they must go through 3 phases of trials. Phase 1 is basic safety testing, and in Phase 2, the doses are worked out. Phase 3 trials are the main hurdle. They test whether the vaccine actually works in the real world. The trouble with the Russian vaccine is that it doesn't seem to have gone through all 3 trials.
We don't know what's happened, we don't know what the data have shown, and it's clear that there have not been Phase 3 studies, that is, studies which have looked at the impact on infection, and there probably haven't even been Phase 2 studies.
The good news is that there are several vaccines around the world in reasonably advanced stages of clinical trials. But here's the thing. We're all expecting that vaccines are going to prevent coronavirus infection. However, that's not the primary outcome of most trials. They're actually looking at whether the vaccine prevents COVID-19 disease, which is different from not becoming infected in the first place. That would be almost a happy side effect.
The really important outcome for any vaccine is that it actually prevents significant disease. And that means people, even though it may not stop them being infected, it actually stops the body being impacted negatively to produce, in this case, say, pneumonia or some other systemic illness that's going to cause significant morbidity or even death.
Before you get despondent that vaccines aren't going to stop COVID-19 spread, in the last couple of weeks there have been optimistic studies in primates. They've shown that some of the leading candidates produce an effective and safe immune response, which should stop infection. That's cheered up vaccine experts like Professor Terry Nolan.
Right now, I think there is a very good probability, way above 50-50, frankly, that we are going to have an effective vaccine.
Although you need to test vaccines on tens of thousands of people to be sure they're safe, you only need surprisingly small numbers to be sure they work. And that could really speed things up. Professor Nolan also believes that with a number of vaccines showing promise, supply shouldn't be a problem.
What looked like it was an impossible task even a couple of months ago looks like now it's realistically achievable to produce many billions of doses into next year.
And in the meantime, treatments are improving.
Over the last few weeks, we've had the reports of some very important large studies, and that's the only way you can really answer whether something works, whether it makes a clinical impact.
2 drugs are already making a difference for Australian patients.
We've seen treatment change quite dramatically, especially for people with COVID-19 who are in hospital, and that's because we have 2 interventions that are now pretty routinely used in Australia. One is steroids or dexamethasone, which can actually reduce mortality by 20 to 30%, particularly of people that are sick and unwell in hospital. Remdesivir is an antiviral drug that shows more modest benefit in reducing the time to recovery, but also now widely used in Australia.
What's bedeviled treatment research is trials which are too small to make any conclusions. But that hasn't stopped drugs like hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin getting premature headlines. Combinations of medications are looking promising, as are new antibodies which manipulate the immune system. Because you can be sure that even with vaccines in sight, effective treatments will be needed for a long time to come, and maybe even to help us prepare for the next pandemic.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.